Hi, all. Welcome to One Pitch Catch. Ganesh, when England set out for this Ashes series, I'm sure they really, really wanted to cause an impact on Australian cricket by winning the series, right? Or so that they can retain the Ashes. But actually, what may happen is that they will actually impact Australian cricket by losing. Because Cricket Australia is apparently going to suffer a revenue of around revenue loss of around 3 million Australian dollars because this ended up being a two-day test. Now, I was just looking around. Cricket Australia's annual revenue, I think, for last year was around 420 million. Now, imagine the same thing happens in each of the five Ashes tests. Cricket Australia is looking at a 3.5% of their annual revenue in the form of these refunds and losses. And that, I don't know if that factors in your advertisers saying what the hell and things like that. So, in any way, England will impact cricket Australia. I'm reminded of a joke in one of the எஸ்விசேகர் டிராமாஸ் அதில் வந்து அவன் சொல்லாம அவன் ஊரில் இருக்கிறச்சே ஒருத்தர் சொல்லுவாங்க இந்த மாதிரி என்னோட பையன் வந்து பட்டாளத்துக்கு போய் சேர்ந்துட்டான். ஐயோ அவனுக்கு வந்து சுடவே தெரியாதே அப்படிம்பா. அவன் எந்த பக்கம் சுட்டாலும் நாட்டுக்கு நல்லது தான் அப்படிம்பா. அது மாதிரி இங்கிலாந்து if they win or lose whatever happens, if you're finishing matches in 2 days, you're going to hurt cricket Australia. Don't worry about it.
So they want, I mean, all of us thought with the way that Ashes, Bazball, Wood, Archer playing together, all this, we all thought that they are going to cause a dent to the Australian cricket team. But it is actually the Australian Cricket Board, which is Cricket
And
Australia.
indirectly, at some point of time, the Australian cricket team also, you won't have revenue for funding and things like that. Good plan. நல்ல idea தான்.
ரொம்ப அதாவது very very nice plan because if you can't beat them in some the main thing you beat them with something else
ஆமா
அந்த மாதிரி
ஆமா
yeah I mean,
what did you think about the match though? I mean, it is a 2 day match, less than just about became a 2 day match. Like Australia pretty much won right at the end. I wasn't expecting them to finish it in 2 days. I actually thought Cricket Australia would have told them, please drag it out into the next day. At least கொஞ்சம் audience வரட்டும், spectators வரட்டும்.
10 runs keep 10 runs I mean, so I mean I was reminded of the South Africa Zimbabwe when ICC tried that 4-day test. You remember one test they played and South Africa beat Zimbabwe in 2 days. So I was reminded of that test yesterday. But I mean, jokes apart, I think England being stubborn about Bazball is completely baffling to me, Jaga. They have, yes, in support of Bazball, they have come up with some scintillating chases in the last 2-3 years. I mean, against New Zealand, against India, a couple of chases.
Twice against India.
Yeah, twice against India, the biggest chases, and all those things have been, I mean, scintillating to watch as an England fan and as a Test cricket fan also. Sometimes it is very nice to that they going for that 350, 380, those kind of scores with ease. They reaching it with 2 down, 3 down, and all it is. But overall, I don't think there is enough justification to keep playing Bazball because there have been a lot of embarrassing losses also. In addition, on the other hand, when you look at this, I don't know if the balance, if the England fans or the England board are okay with the balance, because this yesterday's loss to Australia, the first Ashes test, I think it's extremely embarrassing to lose in 2 days, especially when the day started 7 overs into the day. England had the upper hand. Australia were struggling. Australia could have been put on the mat, but they were struggling. They were 40-50 runs down. And absolutely, again, the same thing, Jaga, it's one of the earlier points I've come to again is what you told, Jaga, before. This Bazball does not give enough rest to the bowlers. On the second day morning, England bowlers were bowling 6 or 7 overs.
Yeah.
And then in about 35 overs or
30
so,
overs, right? 32 overs.
Again, they were bowling. So that doesn't, and in
it's
fact,
basically one session.
Exactly. And mindless batting and hitting all the way is not the way to go about in Test cricket. Everybody does enough analysis. There is too much of science and analytics have gone into the game. And I mean, it can come as a surprise if you take them apart on one game suddenly like that. If you're going to keep doing that, I'm sure any team, even the lower ranked teams like Afghanistan or Ireland or Bangladesh should be prepared for that. And how do you expect Australia and India not to be not prepared?
Yeah,
I don't understand this this going hammer and tongs about it. I mean, in fact, Travis Head schooled England on how to play aggressive cricket. He scored a 69 ball 100, and it was not mindless batting still.
Yeah, correct.
He respected the
Risk
good balls.
management, basically, right?
Yes. And you know, Jaga, you and I especially, I mean, a lot of people, you and I especially, don't forgive Virat Kohli when he keeps getting outside the off stump
Yeah,
every
outside also.
single time. And here we have one entire team doing that. I don't know. I mean,
In two innings in the same test.
an entire team doing it, one player doing it is something we don't want to forgive. It's at that level it is not acceptable. Is
Yeah.
something we tell about one player. There are 10 players coming again and again and again and doing this is extremely disappointing. I don't know how long will ECB let McCullum, Stokes, and even Rob Key for that matter get away with such showings, embarrassing losses, to put it bluntly. I don't know. I mean, on a joke, on a lighter note, I think it's a conspiracy by New Zealand to send McCullum and Stokes to destroy ECB, I think, Jaga.
Yeah, we'll ignore Stokes. He still has some England connections. McCallum certainly does not. So the conspiracy may still hold true. But what is interesting is, see, England scored at around 5.2 in the runs per over in the first innings, 4.7 in their second innings. Australia scored 2.9 runs an over in the first innings. Second innings, obviously,
Mm.
Travis had destroyed some. But you can score at that rate. I think it's good. But you have to make that last longer than 30 overs, 35 overs. It has to go on for around 50 to 70 overs. Only then you're looking at a total of around 300 or something like that. Without, I don't know what your intention is. Like I don't know if you go back a long time ago when you were probably singing rhymes to Siddharth. There was this rhyme which ends as, it's about a girl. I forgot the full rhyme, but it says, when she was good, she was very, very good. But when she was bad, she was horrid. This is exactly how the England team is right now. Like when they get it right, they're absolutely awesome to watch. But when they do not, they're just downright pathetic. We have seen it over the last 3 years. So, yeah, maybe the England publics and the ECB's patience is going to start wearing thin at some point of time. I think the fact remains that it is all around risk management, like I was saying. Right? When you don't let your bowlers recover, they are not. I mean, this was obviously waiting to happen, right? When you give a bowlers and you have a 5% fast bowling attack, you don't even have a spinner to try and give your fast bowlers rest. You have five people, and you are asking them to come back again within a session. They are not going to be up for it. So the second innings disaster was sort of waiting to happen in terms of Travis Head taking the game. Of course, nobody expected Australia to win on day two. Basically, that's for sure. I'm reminded of, I think I was listening to an interview by, I think it was either Syed Kirmani or somebody else. They were talking about how in the 60s and 70s, the BCCI once withdrew. I mean, instead of giving them 5 days of daily pay, they gave only four, saying, you, because you only played 4 days, why should I give you the fifth day? And from that time onwards, next time there was a chance of a match being wrapped up on day four, there were instructions given out to the batsmen saying drag it into day five so that we get our full payment. So I think CA would have considered doing that, but I don't think the Australian team would have listened anyway. But anyway, yeah, it's. I don't know. I hope England recovers, because if they do not, the series is going to be very, very ugly. Still a long way to go, but they've given themselves a big advantage by through an extra 3 days break until the next test. Like I think they play a Prime Minister's 11 match, and then after that, there's the next test that's starting, I think, probably early December, if I remember right.
Fact,
So,
there's a lot of things. I think, in fact, McCullum and the team management. I heard that they have said no to playing that Prime Minister's 11 pink ball practice game, and they are going to let the England Lions play that game.
okay,
So
good,
these
good.
people are going to prepare, doing whatever. I mean, they prepared with the army level preparation and all for a series. If last year,
இல்ல
last
இல்ல
Ashes,
இதுல
I think.
என்னன்னா வந்து,
Uh,
generally that pink ball test is actually the worst test from a batting perspective, because the ball moves around so much. In a normal red ball game, they've lasted 2 days, so we
No,
don't know
I
how
mean,
it's going to be in the
now it
pink
is.
ball
I
test.
mean, it is very difficult to lose in one day, Jaga. So they can't beat this record, I think, because Australia themselves will bat for a
You never
day.
know, Basi. If you're only lasting 30 overs, that's two sessions. What if Australia score 5.5 runs and over in the two session in that one session, and they get England all out within one day? twice.
So, so it is. I find
Anyway,
it's very difficult for Australia, England to beat their own record of 2 days. I still feel, but in terms of overs, they probably can. In terms of
yeah,
overs,
probably.
in terms of overs, they can. But even see this Bazball, no, even I mean, not taking away credit from the Indian bowlers who did very well in the recent tour to England, which India drew 2-2. Even in in a couple of those games, England could have shut down India from the
Yeah,
competition, but they let by playing baseball they let them in, and
correct.
India capitalized on it. So those baseball tactics is just not working with the bigger, especially the bigger teams. I don't know how.
And the pitches also matter. The pitches also
Yes,
matter because when the
yes,
pitches have a little bit more helpful bowlers, the tactics are not working. We saw that in obviously we're seeing that in Australia. We also saw that in India. In the series in India, the pitches were not as overly helpful for spinners as they were for say New Zealand or the recent Eden
true.
Gardens Test, but there was still a fair amount of assistance for
Mm.
the spinners, and baseball did not work then. Baseball only works when the pitches are really flat, and that's what they've been able to do over the years. Like they did that in Pakistan maybe a year and a half ago. They've been doing that consistently in England. It will fail because you don't give your bowlers enough time to recover, and because you're only lasting maximum a day. That's just not good enough.
That's what like they since they are not giving enough rest to bowlers between innings. Now they have given a long rest between games. Now I think they have a they have a 10 or 11 day gap because of this three extra days.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think before the next test starts. So let's see how they.
Anyway, yeah,
But I mean, two people who have need special mention is Stark's bowling and head
yeah,
batting. Of course, he can
yes,
go
yeah,
on talking about heads batting yesterday. Stark was fabulous. I think he took on the responsibility of not having Pat Cummins and Joe Seychelles and completely took it on him and destroyed England with that 7 wicket spell in the on the first day. And of course, his cotton bolt of Zach Crawley in the second innings
yeah,
was
yeah,
I think it's already the catch of this Ashes. I would say. I think I really feel that needs
yeah, yeah.
some great catching to beat that this Ashes, Jagan.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a splendid test match. I mean, 7 wickets in the first innings, but he almost saw sew up the game, and then he comes back and gets 3 wickets. Then Travis Head comes and finishes, and overall a very good bowling performance by Australia as well. And of course, Ben Stokes did get 5. I think he pretty much wiped out the lower order. So it was great watching it, but yesterday was even better.
So apart
Anyway,
from
so there's
this
this.
other
I don't know. I
test,
think Nathan Lyon didn't bowl a single ball in this test. I don't know how
no,
often
he
that
bowled. He bowled a couple of
happens.
overs in the first
Oh, he
innings.
did. Okay.
He did bowl.
In the first innings, he bowled. Okay.
First innings he bowled. Second innings he didn't.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
I was thinking he didn't bowl anything at all, which would have been
No, no,
really odd.
He bowled. I mean, he is not like Nitish Kumar of India, so, so who's
Yeah, he
picked.
bowled 2 overs. Yeah, yeah.
So he bowled a couple of overs in the first test. I watched it.
So
So
speaking of Nitish Reddy, so the second test at Guwahati started yesterday. South Africa are very strong position right now. They've scored 489, and it's really up to India now to try and do something about it. When it's bad light caused an end to the day's play a little earlier than it should have. But what do you think about the position right now? We'll go into more details maybe after the test is over. But right now, what does it look like?
we've been talking so much against baseball. Now India needs to play baseball to get something out of this test because 2 days are gone and
Yeah,
basically South Africa are ahead by almost 500 runs, and it
correct.
needs
Yeah.
a baseball into two or something like that for India because
Yeah.
India is in a position to push for the win. South Africa will happily go for a draw and walk away because I think they are pretty much
I
safe
don't
from.
think they will. I think they'll want to win 2-0 because the WTC points also start mattering, right? So
Yeah,
they will
definitely it
definitely go.
matters. But the way South Africa has been playing, I think their
Yeah,
WTC final place is more or less confirmed for them. I think this year also.
yeah,
Whether they win it again or not could be questionable. But let's see. I think I mean even if they want the win nowadays with WTC, everybody wants a win. But the onus is more on India this time
yeah,
to
yeah.
get the win because having lost the first test
Correct. Yeah.
pathetically to say.
Anyway, so that's about it. That's a wrap. We'll come back again. Yeah, like I said, after the Guwahati test is over, with some of the cricket, including this test and other stuff. So until then, see you all. Thank you. Please do keep following, liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, etc. Bye.
Bye bye.